Live. Hi everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Freya Casey, professional vocal coach and singer. In case you just don't know me yet, I've been performing on all kinds of stages for the past, probably 20 years. Musical theater, opera theater, pop, rock, jazz, all kinds of different things. And I just wanted to talk a little bit today about Madonna's performance at the Eurovision Song Contest last Saturday. Hi. I didn't even watch it because I haven't been watching the Eurovision live contest for years because I don't like the quality of it. And this is just my personal opinion. I have a very sensitive ear and there's just so many tuning issues there have been, and I just don't like it. So I don't know. So that's just me. That's just my personal preference. But after just this morning in my masterclass, someone mentioned, and then someone actually made a post asking me about what I think about Madonna's performance. And then I looked it up and I listened to it. I was shocked and I wanted to just give a little analysis. I'm not going to actually show the video. So if you want to watch it, you need to go and watch it. If you have watched it, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, you can watch it after I get through talking about it. So, but you're going to know what happened by me talking about it. So the funny thing is that I noticed I tried to look for an original video that was actually recorded by, the professional cameras that day as it was broadcast on Saturday. Was it Saturday? I think Saturday, right? As it was broadcast live. I couldn't find it anymore. I don't know if they took it down or maybe it is way down in the search results nowadays now. But all I could find was an edited version, which very obviously is auto-tuned, and her vocals are definitely edited. However, I'm going to get into the auto-tuning in just a second on how you can actually know that it is auto-tuned, because there are certain things that auto-tune can fix and certain things it doesn't fix, the steadiness of the voice and different things. So, and you can still hear that there is definitely editing going on. So the original was not edited because there are already lots of reaction videos out there, and that's kind of what I watched. I watched some of those, or there are videos out there of people who were in the audience who actually just recorded it in the audience, which the quality isn't that great of the video, but you can definitely hear what went on live, and the tuning was definitely off quite a lot. So how can this happen? I would like to address this a little bit, and I will get into your questions and comments in just a bit. I want to just kind of give you my opinion of why this happens and what is happening to her voice, just kind of an analysis of what, what can cause being off pitch like this. And she's an established singer. She's been around for decades, and wow, how can this ever happen, right? So my take on this is... So I just went back and watched some of her other recent live performances. And I also watched, there's one of the Met a couple years ago. No, 2018, there was a Met, what is it? Let's see. It is actually Met Gala 2018. There is a video out there, which is absolutely, definitely auto-tuned. Definitely. And there's another one that she has just terrible luck, really. There's another video of the Brit Awards. I think it was also 2018, where she actually falls. That was not her fault. Somebody stepped on the train of her dress and she just fell. And it brought her all out of it, which is horrible, really. It's a horrible thing. She has terrible luck. So Madonna is a singer who has been around for decades, and she's actually very well known for, of course, the lyrics and the songs and the performances. There's kind of two parties of singers. There's like two camps, right? There's the one camp is singers who make a show by actually building a very spectacular show. It's a lot about the dancing, the show, the lighting, and all the action going on stage. It's like a theater show. high energy, everything going on. And the singer is constantly moving, and tons of action going on. And then there's this other camp of singers where it's just only about the music. They might sit at the piano or play the guitar and sing, and it's a lot just about making a lot of music and not tons of show, really, just performing. And Madonna is definitely in the camp of big show, lots of action, theatric. The German word theatralisch isn't quite the same in English. So, first of all, let me say that it takes a very, very solid singer to still sing 100% on tune, in tune, and to do all this action, to go and run around and jump around and dance around and to still sing very well. That's what you learn. That's what I learned in opera theater. How do I not compromise my voice while I'm still doing all this action? You have to actually train this, because if you just go ahead and just belt it out and sing without knowing how to separate out that body movement from your singing technique, first of all, probably your technique isn't going to be as good. It's going to suffer. And second of all, it's going to have an effect long term, because since you're not using proper technique as you're doing all this action, because you have not really been trained in doing this, your voice deteriorates over the years. Now, of course, I have no idea about the background. What is happening in Madonna's life right now? I have no idea. Let me just say that psychological pressure, or if your mindset isn't in the right place, it can definitely play a big role in the way the voice works. And of course, your physical state is huge. So I don't know about that. It might be that her body is not in the best shape, but I don't know that. This is just an assumption. I'm just giving you reasons why I think what could affect the voice. So the first thing is to not being trained to actually sing with proper technique when you're doing all this action. And I went back to some older performances, and I actually noticed that it is more about show, and the voice, it was better maybe 20 years ago, but it's still, I couldn't really say that I think that this is like an extremely solid technique to where, if you were really trained and someone showed you how to still sing really, really well while doing all this action on stage, I didn't feel like she was really properly trained in that. I love Madonna, really. Like, not like some of her songs, I grew up with those songs. I sing Material Girl all the time on my gigs. And I just love her voice. She has this very unique voice color. She kind of has a low voice, but she also can sing. She has that brightness in her voice. That's kind of rare for someone who can also sing so low to have that brightness when she goes up. I love her voice color, and I love the way she sings. She has a clear voice. I love clear voices, and I just love the way she sounds. Now, in this weekend's performance, she was not just a little bit off. She was flat. I mean, she was flat. Not just a little bit. Horrible. Like, my students are better than that when it comes to tuning and pitch control. And so let me just kind of explain to you all the situations that can happen when you sing live. Singing live in a big space like she did is really, really difficult. First of all, singing in any space is difficult because every time you're in a different space and a different PA system, it sounds very different. The conditions are different each and every time. So it's hard because each and every time you're going to have to get used to new sound. And probably she has her own in-ear monitors by now, if she's using in-ears. I couldn't see it, but I'm assuming because it's really hard otherwise to hear on a stage like that. However, it can really throw you off when the sound, and let me tell you, just because it's a big venue and a big space doesn't mean the sound is great. I've sung in many places where there's like professional sound engineers and technicians, and the sound was crappy and the sound was horrible. I could not hear anything I needed to hear, and it's just horrible and hard. You're kind of at the mercy of the sound people and the just general physical properties of the space, which can really be difficult. So that could throw you off. However, what I heard in her voice was, it was not just a little bit of being out of tune, it was a lot. Plus, when you have performed over the years, for many years, for decades as she has, your brain really learns to focus. Even when the sound is bad and you can't hear really well, your brain learns to focus to where you can still just, even with little hearing, just with very little arriving in your ear as far as sound goes, you can still, through focus, you can still sing a lot better. Now, of course, the more action there's going on and the more elements that are outside of you, the harder it is to focus just on the singing. And let me just tell you, this is the reality of it. Of course, she has done this show before, so she knew the choreography, but I can tell you that a lot of times, even before shows like this, there's either no rehearsal or very little rehearsal. And she may have flown in just shortly before, and sometimes there's really no rehearsal. I've experienced this many times because there's no time, something, and you have just either very little rehearsal or no rehearsal, and there's stuff throwing you off all the time. But you still need to focus. Of course, you're the professional, and you've learned to deal with it, but still, there's always stuff that can totally what is happening now, and it throws you off. Depending on how well you are, how good you are at just kind of not staying, with your mind on what just didn't work out, what didn't just happen like you wanted it to, how good you are in just going on and focusing on the next thing, it really can determine how little stuff can throw you off if something goes wrong, whether it's the staging or the sound or your own voice. So yeah. Oh, she didn't go to tech rehearsals or the jury show. Yeah, this can also happen, really. And I know the reality of it. There's just never time. And this is the show that is like, time is money. It's really all about money. That's what it is. It's about people tuning in on television and, selling ads. That's bottom line, really. However, let me just say this, and I know I've gotten a lot of hate comments when I published the video about Demi Lovato's vocal technique and how her voice has deteriorated. And I still stand by it. I hear this in her voice. And I hear this in Madonna's voice, that technically she sounds like she's out of breath a lot. She sounds like she's short of breath. She's singing out loud, but she's not singing in a very supported way. And this is manifested by her gasping for air a lot. So she's taking a lot of short breaths often, instead of singing for longer periods of time and taking a nice, deep, very controlled breath. That's what I hear. Which results in this, it's almost like you're trying to stay above water. It's like, da-da-da, I'm singing just like a breath. Da-da-da-da-da, 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 just like a breath. I'm just exaggerating. She didn't do like this. But it's almost like you're trying to stay up on top of water constantly. There's not a calmness. There's not a groundedness. And there's not this well-established support. I'm sorry, there's construction right outside my door. I don't know if you can hear it. It's driving me nuts right now. But it's not grounded. It's not calm. It's not singing from the core with this solid base to really work from. It sounds rushed. It sounds frantic. It sounds like she's struggling. And that's because she's never taking a really deep breath, and she's constantly pushing outward. It's almost like you're yelling from the top of your lungs, and then you're supposed to take a breath all the time, like da da da, oh, 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 yelling, and it just, you never get to this point where there's a calmness, and that's what I hear. And that's where you don't have a lot of control over your tuning and over your voice, because you're constantly singing from a place of being rushed and struggling against what is going on around you. And of course, you want to be heard. So you're trying to sing over it. You're trying to sing above, because it's expected. You need to have a certain volume and that certain color in your voice. You need a belt. And so, but you're never getting to this place of being very supported, taking a nice deep breath, expanding, keeping the good posture. I call this the reset button. It's very important to always, even when you sometimes in your singing get to this place of like struggling a little bit, you always need to kind of be able to get back to the place of, okay, groundedness. Can you hear this? This construction is moving closer. They're ripping up the sidewalk right in front of my door. They're about to move right in front of my door. I'm sorry. So this is just my opinion, and you can hear, if you go to that performance, if you're really interested in watching this, go to that Madonna Met Gala 2018. She sang the exact same song, that Like a Prayer, in the same choreography, same show. And she struggled. It's auto-tuned, so the tuning isn't off, but you can hear her struggling. Her vibrato is uneven. She has scratchiness in her throat in that performance. And there's still what I told you, that struggling to stay on top, to stay afloat. You can hear that. And that is clearly a sign for her not being supported and her to pushing against the vocal cords a lot. Cannot hear the construction? Okay, good. I can. It's like there's a bulldozer in my room and I'm trying to speak over it. It's very distracting. But like I said, as a performing artist, you do learn to focus, to kind of blend in or blend out whatever you do or do not want to hear. That's what you have to learn. It's like if you want to just hear the strings, you have to pick out the strings. If you just want to listen for the bass, you have to be able to single out the bass. If you don't want to hear what that other backing singer is doing, who is singing slightly sharp or flat, you have to focus on something else. So you learn to tune in or out of whatever you choose. That's just something you have to learn. Oh, please take a break outside now. They're so loud. They're taking a little break. Please turn off the machine. Just a minute. Yes! Thank you. They're turning off the machine for just a minute. Thank you. And I have another student coming actually in a little bit. This is just a very impromptu live stream. So everyone who's here, if you're a singer, which I'm thinking you are because my channel is for singers, you have to pay attention to things like these even when you listen to other singers. And ask yourself, is it a solid technique? Which definitely someone can sound awesome without having a solid technique. The question is, how many decades are they going to last, and how many decades are they going to sound awesome? And how awesome do they sound when all the technical stuff is taken away? I mean, as far as like the tech, like the auto-tune and the effects. How would they sound if they just sing into the room? Can they sing in tune, on tune, I never know what it is, on pitch? Or is it not accurate? And everyone who's in my masterclass, Betty Jo's here, Janet is here, you know how big I am on accuracy, because accuracy is really just a manifestation of what is happening in your technique. So being sharp or flat has a lot to do with a lot of technical aspects. So are you breathing properly? Are you supported properly? Are you having good resonance? Are you relaxed in the jaw, or are you pushing? Are you tense? Whenever there's something tense in the throat or in the jaw, it definitely has an effect on the sound, on the edginess, and on the tuning. And I want you to start paying attention to that. Even voice color, darkening too much or brightening too much, it has an effect on the longevity of your voice and how easy it will feel for you to sing. So whenever you're doing something that isn't quite in your natural area of timbre, that is the voice color that you naturally have, if you're going off too far constantly, pushing your voice to sound like not actually you would sound, but because you have someone else's voice stuck in your head and you're like, oh, they're so awesome. I love their voice. I want to sound like that. But it's not you. I always say it's like constantly wishing you have like blue eyes if you have brown eyes, or constantly wishing you had this body shape if you don't have that body shape. Just respect yourself and who you are and what your voice is like. Here's another thing. I just know this. I've been in this world, and I've been in the singing world, and I've met a bunch of famous singers, world famous singers. And I know how high the pressure is. It's just crazy. The expectation is huge. It's gigantic, and it does something with your psyche. And it's not easy to say no, first of all, to a lot of money, even when you're not in the best shape. And it is hard to say no even to your fans, because you love your fans and you love the rush of being loved. There's something that happens. There's adrenaline. It's like, does it not feel good to be loved and everyone just worshiping you? I mean, come on. Like, that must feel good. I think it feels good. I love it when people come to me. I love it when people give me standing ovations. It's like a drug. It's like, awesome. That feels good. I want more of this. It does feed our egos. Of course it does. Doesn't mean we're narcissists, but it does feed the ego. This is natural. And it's just so bad when a very established artist who really, it's not just about the singing here. Madonna is an artist just because it's the whole thing. It's like her whole opus, her whole work. It's not just the voice. She's more than just her voice. What she has created is just massive, right? She has created like a big movement, even with her music. She was innovative. She did a lot of stuff that nobody dared to do. So I respect that. And there's a lot of pressure on someone like that, even after so many years. And now, of course, she's, I don't know, she's like 60 or so. Your body is just not as strong. Now they're starting again outside. Oh, please no. Your body just might not be as strong as it used to actually be able to do all this stuff, like jumping around and dancing and doing this choreography while singing perfectly. It does get harder when you get older, I'm pretty sure. Oh, you will be part of my masterclass? That'd be awesome. It's actually still open for registration for, 10 more days, 11 more days. masteryourvoice.tv/online-masterclass. Check it out. It's a 4-month program. So that's just what I wanted to say about Madonna's performance. That's why I'm not a fan of Eurovision. I'm just sorry. I have a sensitive ear, and a lot of the performers in the past few years, haven't watched it in several years, but a lot of the performance, the tuning was not good. I don't know why. Is it because they were all bad singers? Is it because the sound is always really difficult? No, I don't think, because I have heard singers who actually sing very nicely in tune on Eurovision, but a lot of them just don't. And to me, I mean, really, as a violinist, you will never get a job in your life in an orchestra or anywhere else if your tuning isn't awesome. You're not going to get a job. And why should it be any different for singers? I just think the most excruciatingly painful thing is when a singer is off pitch. Anything else is kind of like you can hide it, but pitch is like basics. But it is also to be easy to, it's easy to get off pitch because all those things that I just told you. So let me read some of your comments. It wasn't just that she was out of pitch. She sounded constant, totally short of breath. Yes, and it was a complete disaster. Yeah, the song isn't that high, but she was really struggling with the higher parts. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It never felt like she got to a place where she was grounded and she actually had control over her voice. It was this constant trying to stay afloat. There were not great songs that amazed me. Yeah, there haven't been any great songs that amazed me for years on Eurovision, and that's why I don't watch it anymore. She got paid $1 million by an Israeli billionaire to appear at Eurovision this year. Oh, really? See, I don't know the background of all this. As it is the 30th anniversary of Like a Prayer. Oh, that's true. And she's releasing a new album called Madame X. Ooh, this performance is going to hurt the sales of that album. I know she has fans, and, also really, I mean, honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. On the one hand, nobody's perfect, really. she's a human being. We're all human beings. And even a performing artist, they're all human beings. But, hello? She's getting paid a lot of money. I mean, really, if you get paid a lot of money, you have to deliver. It's like a soccer player, right? They get paid lots of money, but as soon as they don't really deliver, they're out. They're totally out. That's just the way it works in this world. The Netherlands won. Oh, yay! Congratulations, Rino. That's your country. That's awesome. So, yeah, but that's all. I need to wrap it up because I have another student coming in. And, oh, my goodness, how are we going to have lessons today with this terrible noise outside? It's like so loud. I'm glad. That's why I'm using this mic. But it's just so crazy loud right now. It's like I'm speaking on a construction site. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I know probably most of you here are interested in the singing fact. I didn't want to make this a hate video. I also didn't want to make this a reaction. That's why I'm not actually showing the video. I just wanted to jump on live and talk about it. And just help you to kind of figure out why and what to listen for in the future. I think it's kind of fun. I think it's fun to listen for what is happening in someone's voice and why things are happening the way they are. That's just my thing. I love it. And if you're a singer, it should be a thing for you too, to listen to a singer and to pick out details and to kind of analyze, like, why did this work and why did that not work? Have a great day. I will hopefully see you soon. And always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing. I love you guys. Bye.